If you could live in Dubai for the rest of your life, would you?
I wouldn't move back to the UK.
I'd live here all my life.
I'd live here over the UK if I could. But if I could be open to destinations, I wouldn't stay in Dubai, I don't think.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't
I think what I'd like to do, I'd like to do 8 months here and then 4 months away.
The dream, that, wouldn't it?
Where would you have your
Spain
all day.
whole 4 months?
Yeah.
Spain's next level in the summer.
Spain's unbelievable, isn't it?
Very, very good.
Just like have a little float. No. See, because I love Ibiza, but I don't like to be there for 4 months. But definitely Spain. That's the idea. That's the...
It's the dream.
8 months here and there.
You say, I'd love to do 6 months or 4 months in Europe, the rest of the time here.
Italy's good, though. Italy's unbelievable.
Never been.
Mate, it's unbelievable. Like all that Amalfi and all that. It's superb.
Yeah, no, never been. Looks nice, though, but yeah, it's not something that we've got around to doing yet.
Come on, what else?
Well, I actually want to ask you what was wrong.
So today I am talking to Richard Feeney, who is one of our sales directors, and a very good one at that as well. We're going to delve into a little bit about him, what makes him so good at his job, and maybe a little bit about his family life and how this job impacts his family life, because it affects us all. And yeah, just a little bit of knowledge from yourself, mate, because like you say, there's not many better than you. So
I'm sure there is.
Well, you go a long way, mate, to tell you that right now. You go a long way. But yeah, just a little bit of an insight to Richard Feeney, which I'm really excited. Have we done one of these, by the way?
No.
No, we have we?
No. First time. Not the first time on a podcast, but first time doing something one-to-one.
Be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's do it.
So, we don't have to do an introduction no more. And that was the intro, yeah. I used to hate like
Well, we're rolling now, so everything's been rolling.
But when it was formal, it was just like you just roll with it, don't you?
I mean, make it more casual.
No, mate. Like I said then to Emily, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Just because I think the standard benchmark being a manager is thankless when you think about it.
Yeah.
Anyone, when you do well or when your team does well, it's down to the team.
Yeah.
When your team's not doing so well,
it's on your shoulders.
It's down to you. No one gives a shit about you and your life and what goes on behind closed doors or what the problems you have, because people just want to know now exactly. They want to know, right? How can you develop me better?
Yeah.
How can you make me a better person? How you can mentor me? How you can solve this problem? And they want it done now, and that's the role of a manager, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you say, it's thankless at times, but there are times where you'll kind of reach out, other BMs will reach out, Carl Lewis will reach out, so you do get that. And to be honest, that goes a long way as well. When we do get, I'm sure I'm not the only one. There'll be other kind of BMs within the business or kind of people in management positions that do get that kind of recognition from you, from Carl, from Lou, from Dan, whoever it is, whether it's a good week, a good month, and it does go a long way for sure.
Let's go back. Right the way back.
Yeah.
How long have you been here now in Dubai?
March 2011.
Why'd you come here?
Sister.
That's right.
Yeah. Came out to visit Rachel would have been 2010 that she moved out here. Came out after her being here for a year and just fell in love with the place.
Did you?
Just smelt the opportunity and thought, what am I doing in the UK?
Did Rach come over? She was on her own, Rach, wasn't she?
She was not on her own. Okay. She was with...
Shouldn't have mentioned that then. Yeah. if Dan's watching, sorry, Dan. I apologise, mate.
No, she was with a lad called Stephen.
Lady, you're going to love that.
So no, she was with her ex partner, whoever was down the line, but came to visit her. She was obviously working at Allsopp at the time. Stephen was working at Smith & Ken.
Mm.
And yeah, just came out to visit on holiday, and like I say, just smelt the opportunity, fell in love with the place, seen kind of what they were doing and what they were able to do out here, and yeah, my eyes just lit up, and I thought I need to get involved with that.
So you went back and then came back, or did you just stay?
Yeah, so I was out here. I actually think I applied for a job with Smith & Ken, sent my CV at the time, went back to the UK, continued working in the UK, heard back maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. I think it was 3-month period of me kind of leaving Dubai to me kind of coming back being here full time.
And
It
then
happened quite quick.
And you came back and worked for the company for, how long were you there for?
I was with the company, Ben, how long was I with Ben for? 3 years, 3.5 years.
Okay. Because at the time, I remember when I came, they were probably the most prominent agent here.
For sure. They were
in Dubai,
definitely
really.
like, at that time, the market leader, the biggest agency. They were the brashiest. They had, kind of a ridiculous spend at the time on portals. They were like the equivalent to what we are now, I would say.
What community was you doing?
So when I first started, I was doing lettings.
Right.
Started off doing Greens and Views. I was in there for a short period of time. Moved to Emirates Living. Tackled that for a while alongside Jumeirah Islands. In total, I think I spent 12 months in lettings.
Yeah.
Then moved to sales.
Do you think, when people come in now, would you always recommend that they come in as a sales agent or start in lettings?
My preference, and I know we've spoke about this before, I always think it's good for people to start in lettings. Don't get me wrong, you're going to get a few, kind of golden nuggets that do come through, whereby people don't have the experience of the buyer, they don't have the experience of real estate, but they make it work coming straight into sales. But based on my experiences, I always think the better agents end up in lettings first, do not even necessarily a year, but an adequate amount of time in lettings, and then develop to sales.
Did you have any sales experience before you came?
Zero.
No?
Literally zero.
So you
didn't have any office experience,
right?
Wearing a suit, anything like that. It was just all...
What was you doing at home?
So most recent job that I had before coming out here was an electrician.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? When you look at, not just our managers, but our top performers.
It's crazy.
It doesn't matter if you're in sales or not, doesn't it?
Well, literally, we had new starters in today that I met for the first time. I think there's 7 or 8 on the team. And whenever there's a new starter group kind of come in, I'll always kind of ask them, go around the table, what's your name, where you come from, what's your most recent job you've been doing. Every time we have a group, the amount of different industries that are kind of sat around the table is crazy. And I think people come here thinking that everyone's been Foxtons, born and bred, and everyone's this and amazing, estate agent, which is far from the case.
Do you think you can spot someone as soon as you meet them, if they're going to do well or not?
Elements, yeah. But then there's other people that you think they're going to do really well, then all of a sudden they dip straight away. And it's sometimes the people that you don't expect, and you think this lad or woman could be out the door in kind of 2 weeks, and then they kind of turn your opinion massively.
I think we get it right.
His head.
We get it right sometimes, don't we? But I think a lot of the time it's like everyone comes in all high on life and everything. Yeah, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and it's
just because it's so exciting at the time. You're in this new environment, and everyone around you are wearing nice suits. The office is really nice, and everyone's kind of very buoyant at the time. Then all of a sudden, a month, 2 months goes by. They're in the office still making relentless amount of calls, and it is what it is. A weathering job. You do get burnt out, or you can get burnt out with it. What
type of agent was you? Was you, as you are now, were you methodical and you're very? Because I know you got terrible OCD at home.
Really bad.
Was you like that as an agent?
I needed everything in order, for sure. Needed to kind of run like a tight ship and know, kind of what was happening with that seller, what was happening with that buyer, just to kind of be on top of it. But no, look, in terms of me being an agent, I wasn't ever top 3, top 4, top 5. I was consistent in what I'd done, but I was never kind of setting the world alight. Regularly kind of billing money, but it was never like, kind of nowhere near the figures that, the guys are doing now. Nowhere near.
So fast forward a little bit. So you're with that company for 3 years. Then you came to us as a broker in GC.
Yeah.
Where you're working alongside Paul Kelly, Daz Murphy, and Dan Maloney as well. I'll tell you what,
there's another lad as well. Was it Scott?
I think it was
Scott
Dan.
Embleton.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It wasn't Dan Gardner, wasn't there?
I think it was Scott. Was there.
But them 3 are probably the best thing you could probably ever learn off.
If you could have kind of said now, and we kind of laugh, me and Dan sometimes, you look back at the caliber of agent, not necessarily myself, but in Daz, PK and Dan, and what I learned in my kind of period working with them was like amazing.
You could, because every single one of them is completely different. I'd probably say maybe no, you're not, but you've got Paul, who's so methodical and process driven, obviously, with his job now. Daz is
weirdo.
Is a complete weirdo, but has got this obsession over the job that is just infectious. And probably Dan is very methodical as well
Yeah.
in what he does. He's very numbers driven and he reverse engineers everything. So you've got a little bit of everything there, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, being sat around those three in particular, and don't get me wrong, there was like other amazing agents on the floor at the same time that you kind of learn a lot from, but being around them three in particular, and obviously I had a relationship with the guys from, kind of working at the previous company, would always be that kind of crossover, and we got on, kind of socially as well as, kind of in business, that helped. But yeah, what I learned from them, during that period of time was, it's helped me massively even today.
Like as every single one of us have got stories, Rich, about hard times, and you never get flustered, never ever get flustered. But when you were an agent, were there times you just think, you know what, this is just ridiculous. I can't deal with this anymore.
Biggest one I think comes to mind would have been the whole green community title deed situation.
Yeah.
It almost killed me in the sense of like, you're kind of putting all these, kind of sales contracts together to then get told that they weren't able to kind of transfer because there was no title deeds. They had to go through the whole process of, issuing the title deeds for the whole community. And naturally, that period of time, I think that was that 2012, 2013?
If you remember it, we couldn't transfer for about 9 or 10 months.
Yeah. And obviously, during that period of time, you and I, buyer and seller, sold at that price or bought at that price. Then in 8 months' time, the prices were accelerating at silly rate, and they were getting to there. And trying to sort of glue that or keep it together was. We lost a few deals from it. I know you boys obviously had success in keeping the majority of yours together. But I remember at the time I lost, I think it was kind of easily 3 or 4 deals.
And do you know what I'm even thinking? It might have even been 12 months. Yeah. But it just shows you, I know Lewis always goes on camera about specific milestones of what we've tried to overcome. It's like issues that we've tried to overcome. Obviously, we've had the crash in 2008. We've had the floods last year. We've had COVID. We've had, what else have we had? Increase in land department fees. But everyone always forgets about that with the title deeds.
I think you would. Naturally, you would, unless you were kind of involved in it like you were, like Darren was, Paul, myself, and agents working in and around that area. People that were maybe working in the marina or the Palm didn't really affect them.
So then you left for a bit, didn't you, a period of time?
Yeah, I literally went back to the UK.
Yeah. How long was that for?
Do you know what? I think that had a knock-on effect, the whole green community thing. I think I just fell out of love with Dubai for a little bit. I think I fell out of love with the job. I didn't know where to turn. And I just thought I need to kind of go back with a clear head, see what my options were. And I think I went back, it was December 2015. And by, I think it was February or March 2016, I was back out here.
Was you?
Yeah. So I think it was like 2.5 months back in the UK.
I think it's so. I think sometimes, and I say, even with holidays, I think you've got to get out of this place maybe once every quarter.
I think that's what it was. I think, considering that I moved here in 2011, and granted you kind of go away, I was back in the UK, kind of at maybe week at summer, Christmas, and you're seeing friends and family, but I was not in the position, I don't think, after being here for 5 years to kind of really treat myself to go away on a massive holiday. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I was. I don't think I had the resources behind me. I think people come here with this impression that you're going to be a millionaire within a year. I certainly did. When I first moved out here, it was like, okay, I've got a 2-year plan, as everyone has coming to Dubai. I'm going to, kind of go, I'm going to kill it for 2 years, come back with back to the UK with a suitcase full of money. It took me literally probably 3.5 years to kind of get on my feet and actually save a little bit of money out here.
I think as well, Rich, where I said about getting out of the place for, let's say, every quarter, it's also, it makes you understand just how good this place is.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like you said there, when you go away in the summer, you go away at Christmas, everyone's on a high because it's Christmas time or everyone's on holiday or whatever it may be. But you just realise, I think anyway, when you do go somewhere else or you do go to the UK, just what you're missing here.
Even little things like your dry cleaning.
That's mad.
It's every Friday I'll text the guy now, picture the shirts outside the door, he'll come and pick them up. Sunday night they brought it back to you. Whereas in the UK, if you're getting something dry clean, it literally is like a 7-day turnaround.
I ordered delivery when I was back. I went out, come home, ordered, I think it was McDonald's or something like that. Yeah. Every 15 minutes it was saying it's going to be there, and then they just cancelled it.
Yeah.
And I know that's stupid, but and we are very, very lucky. We just take everything for granted.
You do, I think, everything, even to the point of, kind of like European hotels.
Yeah.
I remember it was, when was it COVID? It was 2020. So we were on the red list going back to the UK.
Yep.
On the red list. And I remember saying to friends and family, because Lily was born in December 2020, must have been 2021, sorry. 2021, we're on the Amber list or whatever list we were on. Said we're going to go to Spain. People want to come and see us and obviously meet Lily and, kind of spend that time with them. This is where we're going to be. And I remember we went in. It was a nice hotel, don't get me wrong. Like, really nice hotel. Paid, decent bit of money for it. We walked in. Obviously, I'm carrying all the suitcases. Checked in. Annalise like, okay, well, come on, let's go to the room. She's kind of walked off, not realising that there aren't any kind of kind of bellboy services. They'll bring the bags up. I'm like, kid, you need to come back and, do you know what I mean? She's like, what do you mean? Like, they'll bring up. I'm like, they
Doesn't work like that, yeah.
Europe now. So yeah, even down to like European hotels, depending where you go, we are very spoiled here.
So then fast forward again, you come back.
Yeah.
And we approached you to be Lettings director. Was you expecting that at the time?
No, completely.
Is it something
not off guard, but I just wasn't expecting that phone call.
But what I was going to go on to then was, did you, when you were a broker, did you ever think that you would go into a leadership role? I'd
probably say at the time, if someone said to me, you'd be a manager, I wouldn't have thought I would have been.
Okay.
But looking back now, I think it's the easiest decision that I've made. And I think without, kind of sounding big-headed, I'm a far better manager than I was an agent, for sure.
I think we've seen managers like that. Listen, I think there's probably, how many managers we got now? We must have 12, 13, 14, and of them, obviously with the exception of the likes of Rob and Darren and Charlie, who are managers now, the majority of our managers they were always good.
Yeah.
They were never the elite agents.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? They were never the...
Why would an elite agent, unless, let's say, for example, you're talking like someone like Rob and Daz and Jimmy, who can, kind of do their own thing and manage a team, an elite agent go just to kind of putting down the tools altogether to then take a step back to manage a team.
Yeah.
Naturally, they wouldn't, I don't think.
What was that shift like? I know you had a little time away, but what was that shift like?
I was lucky because when, obviously, I came back, I didn't know anyone within the Lens team.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have any kind of personal relationships with people. So I could kind of almost kind of come in and set my stall out, say, this is how I'm going to operate. This is what I'm expecting from you guys. So I found it easy to kind of, to fall into that kind of, that management, kind of title, let's say, as opposed to, I think it would have been difficult had I been a broker and then all of a sudden within the company, then without having that time away, been put in a management position.
What would you class yourself as? Would you class yourself as a leader or a mentor?
What's the difference?
I think a leader, mentor, or a manager. I think there's three different aspects of a manager's role. Yeah. I believe let's say you've got a leader of, like, let me just try and give you an example. Probably, say Lewis is a leader, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
He's definitely not a manager because he's all over the place. Whereas you've got people like, don't want to be unkind, but like I don't think anyone who's a
PK is a manager.
Paul's a manager.
Yeah.
Paul's an unbelievable manager.
I know you mean it kind of falls into that. I'd probably say I've probably got attributes of all three, but I think my strongest one would be, I guess, a mentor,
Yeah.
I think just kind of being able to kind of sit with people, identify what they want, try and help them get to that point, look at my previous experiences and how I've kind of navigated my way through. Yeah, I'd probably say I've got like aspects, kind of attributes of all three, but yeah, more so leaning towards a mentor than a leader or a manager.
How do you differ? Because I've never known a manager who has got the backing of their team, whether that be, we'll go on to being the sales director in a minute, but from the letting side and now transition into the sales side, how do you combat or overcome people who are underperforming and having that element of, right, this is the line that's crossed, you're underperforming now, this is what's going to happen? Because you're very close with your team as well.
Yeah.
Really, really close. And a lot of managers can't do that. There's like this threshold where they become too friendly. Now, I'd put you, and from the outside in, I'd put you in probably, but I know for the fact that you're not. But how do you overcome that? What do you do? Is there certain things, there's certain elements? Is there like a lead-up period to it? What is it you do?
I think just the way that I am as a person, not that I don't take it serious, of course I do, and it's a serious role. I'm, kind of responsible for helping people earn the money that they earn, so it is serious, but I don't kind of dress it up. I kind of say to the guys all the time, like, look, if you're winning, I'm winning. It's no secret. We'll get base salary from the company, and then the bulk of what I will earn will be from performance revenue from the team. So I see it as if they're winning, I'm winning. If they're losing, I'm losing. If, let's say, for example, you're on my team, you're having a bad month, that's obviously impacting me from a selfish point of view as well. So I'm going to kind of do whatever I can to help upskill you and develop you so that we're winning together.
So almost like a partnership as
100%.
such.
That's exactly what it is.
Even when people are really underperforming, or let's say people are taking the piss.
Do you know what? I'm lucky in the sense that I don't think people do take the piss.
And do you think that's because it's you?
I don't know. Potentially. Like, I will be your mate all day long, and I'll help you out, and I'll go shoulder to shoulder with you, step by step, and help you get through from kind of point A to point Z. I think it's a respect thing. As soon as someone kind of, do you know what I mean, not necessarily disrespects you, but I always say to the guys coming in, again, going back to the new starters we had this morning, my two biggest non-negotiables are timekeeping and attitude. I say it every new starter group we have. If someone's willing to kind of show up and actually be present at work and wants to do well, you've got me all day. If someone's here, but they're not here, they're walking around, they're playing darts, they're playing FIFA, and it's like, you don't want to be here. Of course, I've still got a duty of care to that person to help them, but I'm maybe not going to go out of my way specifically to help if I can see that I'm not getting that level of commitment back.
100%.
And the time as well, if people are kind of walking in, kind of, for me, there's no excuse for being late. I was always kind of taught, I mean, if you're on time, you're late. So I'm kind of got here literally 11:45 for this podcast. I mean, you
And I was 12. Sorry, mate.
But that's just the way that I am. And I think, I try and instill that from people on my team from the get-go. And I understand people are going to be late sometimes. Cars break down or flat tires happen or AC leaks. Just call me, tell me. There's no promise if people are kind of try and duck it under the radar and like I say, use your kind of take your kindness for a weakness almost.
I think your leadership and your management skills are textbook. They are, if I could write down what I want in our managers, I'd write down your skills and what you're good at. When we implement things, it's done in a heartbeat. When there's things that need to be rolled out, it's done in that, but it's always done correctly in a structured way and methodically as well. But it's done with conviction. Do you think, where does that come from? Has that just come from experience, or does it come from seeing managers that you've worked for in the past that they're not doing that and they're not supporting people? Where do you think it's come from?
Do you know what? I think it's just down to, I mentioned respect then. If you're rolling something out, or Dan's rolling something out, or Carl and Lou are, you're who I report to. So if you're telling me, just like I'm asking one of my staff to go and do a true check, or I'm asking one of my staff to do this, if you're telling me that we're going to roll this out, why wouldn't I roll it out with conviction? Because you're telling me to do it. And I've got that level of respect for you and the lads and everyone in the business to do that. So I kind of see it as you're asking me to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it wholeheartedly.
Let's move on to the sales director role. That was inevitable.
Yeah.
And there was a period in time where we have to do it. Probably it wasn't in place at that time, but we had to do it because there was no way that you were going to continue doing what you're doing because you were overqualified. That's no disrespect to any lessons managers, by the way, but you were overqualified. Was the transition into the sales director role, was that similar? Would you say it's more difficult? Is it more demanding? Or
mate, you'll know, I've had my arse in my hands for a good few months. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not? Again, it's kind of going into that unknown because I'm so comfortable with what I was doing for the past, kind of like 4 or 5 years.
I can't believe you even doubted yourself.
I think
there's no doubt. I know.
Yeah.
I know people like to be comfy. I understand that, but someone like you,
that's all it was. And I think it was just, I remember I was in and out of your office. No, I don't want to do it. Keep me where I am. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Because I got the team to like a really good spot. The team were doing very, very well. Obviously, kind of Josh has taken over and Robbo's kind of continued to do what they're doing. They're excelling at the moment, which is great to see. But I just kind of really, I guess, doubted myself as well. I thought, am I ready enough? Am I equipped enough? Have I got enough knowledge to manage the sales team? And when I look back now, like you said, why we ever down yourself, it's hard to think that I was. But I think when you look around the likes of, we've got Stephen, who's an unbelievable manager, Matt, again, unbelievable, even the likes of Jimmy, Rob, Daz, Michael, Anisha, everyone that's in like a kind of management position for like a revenue generating team, they're all unbelievable. And I guess I was nervous, scared in case I wasn't as good in the sales director position as I was compared to being in a lettings director position.
And don't forget as well, you've taken over a team that was quite, not immature, that was quite, it was very new.
Yeah.
And that was another thing as well.
Yeah.
I think what managers will always want, they'll always want the finished article all the time. They'll want to, we get people coming in, we want to be managers and they want the finished article all the time. They want the best agents to come in. It doesn't work like that, does it?
No.
From what you've done, how long have you been in the sales director role now? Is it 2 years?
Yeah, I think it'll
18 months or 2 years,
yeah,
isn't it?
I think it'll be, it was May, not last year, the year before.
It was May
so
20.
yeah, call it 2 years.
But seeing from, and obviously this quarter has been your best quarter by a country mile.
Yeah.
This month, I think we're going to do a record for your department. Is that
Yeah.
right? But it just, I love seeing them stories where it's not just up and down. You'll have a good month and a bad month, and it's been very, very gradual. And
Yeah.
now we're getting to a point where your department, probably from a percentage point of view, is performing better than anyone else.
Yeah, we're definitely up there in the conversation. Like I say, seeing how the team was kind of structured when I first took it on compared to where it is now, it's night and day. And there was a point where, you know, kind of when I did take on the role and I was kind of, the team was, you know, I think at one point, so I was managing some of the lettings staff still,
Yeah.
as well as the sales staff. And it was a bit kind of all over the place. And I was thinking to myself, like,
Can't do this.
not that I've been done here, that's the wrong way to think, but I was thinking, like, it's not what I thought.
Scratched it up.
This is not how I thought it was going to be. But spoke to you again, you're like, Rich, trust me, I'll never let you down, and you never have, to be fair. So I was like, okay, look, Marc's told me it's going to be sweet, it will be sweet. Got my head down, and yeah, just kind of, you know, new recruits coming in, people, you know, kind of, obviously it helped, obviously Dan stepping up from his role to the role that he's in now, and obviously I kind of took a good chunk of Dan's team there, and everyone, to be fair, has been golden. No one's kind of ever questioned my kind of skill set. No one's kind of questioned, you know, well, how come, you know, I'm on Rich's team? Everyone's kind of backed me 100%. I couldn't have been more thankful for the guys that are on the team now that were under Dan, and how they've kind of like allowed me and kind of welcomed me. It was their team. It's always been their team. They've welcomed me into their team.
I want to talk about how this job impacts life at home.
Oof.
Because I know full well.
When's this airing, by the way? Will this go out? Oh, that's Annelise's birthday.
How is it?
Right, yeah, the 3rd of October. I know, that's what I mean. We have to be very careful. It's just on a birthday.
I watched something that it
I'm
was
playing football and I'm mic'd up.
Yeah.
You were both not very nice.
I don't know. I can imagine. I watched. I think it was Warren Buffett's partner. I think his name is Charlie Muggler. I think his name is
Warren Buffett.
Warren
Scott
Buffett.
Keyser as a partner.
No, partner as in
Oh, so I was thinking
as his business partner. And no, Jonas,
we're not that instant open to it.
You got to ask the question: what's the most important part? What's the most important part about being so successful? And he says it's the wife or the husband that you choose.
Yeah.
And I think in our job that resonates better than any other industry in the world.
100%. I was dead lucky. So I met Annalise when we were both working in real estate. So she knows.
I was one of them ones, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, luckily I had a really good mum when she came into the office. But I've been dead lucky with her, and honestly, she probably doesn't get enough credit, or the credit that she does deserve, as you with Nick, kind of Carl, Lewis, with their partners, Dan, Paul, anyone that's in a kind of management, or not even management, anyone that's kind of in a relationship with someone that's in this industry. It's relentless. It really is. But I was lucky when I met Annalise. She was a broker, so she gets it. She understands if I'm making a phone call at 10 o'clock at night, if I'm answering a phone call at 7:30 in the morning, if one of the agencies calling me about, they need help on a certain clause or whatever it is, she gets it. And I couldn't be more thankful to have someone like her, I guess, by my side, and kind of helping me through it. And she gave me a bollocking when I won that award couple of Christmas.
Never mentioned that.
Never mentioned that. She was like, "You bastard."
But she knows. She knows.
She likes to shout out though. So shout out to you, Annalise.
And then you've now got a daughter, Lily. Yeah. Lily is 4.
4.5. She'll be 5 in December.
Has that had a big impact on you, Annalise, and obviously this job as well?
I think naturally, yeah. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. Yeah, it's took a lot of kind of toll, a lot of stress on not necessarily our relationship as like, kind of mum and dad or, husband and wife. I think everything's so heightened out here in Dubai, particularly in the role that we're in the industry that we're in, the pressure's like unbelievable when you kind of look at schooling, nursery fees, you know, kind of buying, you know, rice cakes or whatever it might be, that everything's just like, it's just relentless in terms of like the spend, and, you know, kind of you're always kind of like giving out, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't change anything for the world. It is hard. We do have, you know, our kind of like our, you know, kind of our tough times, as I'm sure everyone, you know, kind of does. But we're a family. We're like a tight knit, you know, kind of the tripod, I call us, like the little three of us. And it's, I wouldn't change it. Like I wouldn't change Annalise and Lee for the world, and they kind of support me massively in what I do.
Where would you say the impact lies especially with having, obviously, I've got 2 kids myself, and I know just how difficult it is, whether it be as soon as you come in, Freddie wants to play football with me, or Florence will want to, and sometimes you're thinking, you know what, I just can't deal with this. Where are the biggest, would you say the biggest problems or the biggest issues, would you say, with family life and this job?
I think it's just knowing when to switch off.
Yeah.
It's massive. And, you know, I know you and I have talked about this, and I always text you because you sent me similar messages before. When you're going away on annual leave, I'll always say to you, try and switch off. And you'll say the same to me. But it's so difficult because, and again, something that I think is just instilled in all of us is this. It isn't just a job. It's 24/7. It's 365. It's a lifestyle. And I think taking accountability, you know, do you know what? I'm going to leave my phone for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Do you do that?
On the side. I try to. Yeah. I try to. And the intention's there. Sometimes it'll get the better of me and I'll kind of go over. But, you know, as soon as kind of 5 o'clock hits now, my bags are packed. I'm going home because I'll kind of take over Lily duty. I'll get in, I'll look after her. Annalise will go to the gym. I'll, kind of bath her, I'll put her down, kind of like, mess about with her. That's our kind of time then, do you know what I mean? So I'll always kind of try and spare her and give her, because the reality is, mate, I'm up at my alarm goes off at 4:45 in the morning. I'm out the door by 5:10. But a gym class at, kind of 6, I'm straight to the office. So if I'm not getting in at 5 and giving her that, kind of 2-3 hours before she goes to bed, I'm not seeing her.
Because you're a real hands-on dad. I've seen it firsthand. Yeah. Whether it be at a pool or whatever it might be, you're real. Some people just are not, are they?
I think, look, Lily we've not had it diagnosed officially, but we've kind of self-diagnosed and we've had kind of tests, or assessments, I should say. She falls on the spectrum. Okay. She's 99.9% autistic, in the sense of she struggles with the language and the communication. She's non-verbal, but she really struggles with, kind of expressing maybe how she feels or what she wants. So it's almost been a bit of a guessing game with what Lily wants. So if, for example, if I would say to you, Mark, can you look after Lily for half an hour? I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't kind of put you into that situation, but you wouldn't have any idea what she wanted to do. If she wanted a snack, if she wanted, kind of a drink, or if she wanted to kind of, get out of the apartment, if she wanted to go to the park, because she can't express how she feels. So I feel like I owe it to her to be as hands-on as I can. And I want to help her develop and, kind of hit these milestones that, kind of maybe her peers and children in the classroom were hitting maybe, let's say, a year or 18 months ago. I wanted to get to those goals. So I feel like I need to be as hands-on as I can to help her. And obviously I could bury my head in the sand and say, no, she's absolutely fine. And, there's nothing the matter with her. But deep down, it's not even deep down, that you know from an interaction with her. If you've seen her walk past this studio room now, you think she's just, standard neurotypical child. But when you actually try and interact with her, that's when you'd notice, okay, well, she's maybe a bit more on the spectrum than others.
I think with that, and that just further cements the job that you do for the business, where you'd never not. Listen, Lily is an amazing little girl. She's absolutely, do you know what I mean? She's perfect in everyone's eyes, but obviously the troubles that you're going through at the minute, no one ever knows. And that's the difference between, I believe, a special person in yourself and someone who's just after attention, or someone who just, they moan and groan. And we see it so many times, don't we? See with a lot of people coming in and everything's a problem. They're procrastinating over everything. And I know you haven't spoke to many people about this.
No, I think, do you know what it is? I think I wouldn't ever go around screaming it from the rooftop, because it is, I don't know if it's a case of previously I've maybe been, not embarrassed is the wrong word. I've never been embarrassed of her. I think I've been maybe in denial. I know certainly Annalise has as well. Yeah. With, kind of hitting the milestones and, kind of things like that. And I think you kind of do think sometimes that, no, she will catch up and she will get there. But the same time, I'm a realist. I know that there is this kind of underlying issue, which I wouldn't say we're struggling at the moment, but we're waiting on, kind of schools getting back to us for next year. The schooling out here in terms of having like special educational needs, that's what it kind of falls under, really. I think there's like limited amount of, kind of children they can have in classes.
Yeah.
So naturally, if we're looking to kind of put Lily into, certain schools at the moment, they might have children already in that school, maybe let's say FS1 stage, that will naturally kind of go to FS2, and they take up those kind of maybe the two places that are in the classroom for the children need additional needs. So that's a battle. But yeah, I just think it's a case of like, now I'm more kind of in tune with it. I've always kind of known deep down that she has been kind of lacking in terms of, maybe her communication, her language skills. Everything else she's fine. And for me, I'm still learning so much about autism or ADHD, whatever it might be. So I say we haven't got her officially diagnosed yet. But when we've had assessments previously, they've kind of indicated that she would kind of, qualify for autism, or she would qualify for ADHD. So I think it's just trying to navigate our way through that and trying to help her and develop as best she can and as best we can, because it's stressful. And, I need to kind of...
Every day's probably different, isn't it, as well? You're learning things every day.
I can't tell you. Like, we're so fortunate that, I say that she's autistic. Annalise will say she's autistic, but again... sorry to interrupt me, but I think that's the first sign of, not progression, but it's like when you come to terms with something, whether it be people... There's a lot of things about mental health with of course.
Not just lads, but with girls as well. But as soon as you admit, listen, I'm struggling here, I think that's the first sign of like, right, we can either get help, we can speak to the correct people. Do you know what I mean? I think
everyone has been absolutely golden in the sense of when we've asked people for like, kind of advice or for help. And I think when we first realised that Lily, she went for what's called like a Griffith assessment in JLT, a place called Insights. And I think that was she'd just turned 36 months old. How old are you when you're 36? Like, just turned 3?
3.
Come on then, help me out.
You're 3.
Yeah.
Singer.
Okay, so she was just turned 3, I think. And it was then really that the kind of like the light bulb kind of went off, or went on, I should say, whereby we thought, okay, there's a bit of an issue here. So, we're still navigating every single day. Luckily for us, and the point I was going to make is the only thing that Lily really kind of seems to struggle with is her language and the communication. We can take her to a loud mall. We can take her to a theme park. She doesn't need routine. Whereas for me, when I first was learning about autism, I thought it was okay. Well, they need structure. They need routine. They need to, it is noise sensitive as, kind of in certain environments. But this spectrum is so widespread. It ranges from people not being able to kind of talk to people not being able to walk. And I don't think, and I kind of say to Annalise sometimes, and she'll kill me for saying it, like, you see these people that are online on Instagram, they kind of not necessarily blog about it, but they kind of give an insight to, how they're getting on, or kind of what their typical day looks like, and, if the child's been good or bad or anything like that. And I say to Annalise sometimes, because I'm not on Instagram or any social media, I say to Annalise, put something on there. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's like, no, don't. And rightly so. It's her decision, whether she wants to or she doesn't. But I just feel like if I could give anyone an example, or, kind of situations that we've faced that have been difficult for us, to help them navigate their way through, I'd be made up. I'd be absolutely made up. And if there's, kind of one thing that I would say to someone that, maybe they're kind of, if they're listening to this podcast now, or if they're not, and there's someone out there that's thinking, I'm not too sure, go and speak to someone.
Would something like this help what we're doing now? Because
100%.
Obviously we haven't like said we're going to speak about this, but again, I've
always been open with you, and I spoke with you. I spoke with Paul, Charlie, Jasper, Chloe. Obviously, speak to kind of Carl, Lou, the lads. Recently, I spoke to Vanessa, who's not here, Finton as well. So when people kind of engage in the conversation with Lily, I won't ever kind of shy away and be like, "Oh no, she's absolutely fine." I'll kind of say openly. I had to go and get a car battery Tuesday night, and we were in like Auto Pro Motor City, and she's got this thing. Her way of kind of saying hello, how are you, or I like you, is she'll kind of come up to you, and she's got no understanding of kind of people's personal space. She'll come up, and your beard there, she'd be kind of like stroking it almost. And there's some guy, bless him, he sat down, minding his own business on his phone. She's walked straight over. It's that, and he's like, what's going on here? But I'm just like, look, this is her way of, kind of interacting. I was explained, but I guess you kind of need to explain to these people the backstory behind it, why she's doing that, because they just think, who's this random 4-year-old kind of coming up to me? It's
do you find yourself doing that, Rich? You find yourself, before you got, like, not just that experience there, but you find yourself doing that in, I don't like it, like a mall or like a airport or
more so now. So Lily's always been a good flyer, up until, I mean, she still is now, to be fair, but there'll be a few kickoffs, and Annalise experienced it the worst. I think it was maybe 18 months ago. Annalise was flying back, I think, from the summer. I was here, and she was with Lily, and Lily just wouldn't settle all flight. She wouldn't settle all flight, crying, kicking, screaming, just being that typical child that you don't want on the aeroplane, where you look around thinking, I just want to get my head down, have a sleep. So anyway, literally with 20 minutes to go, Lily finally kind of gives in, settles, falls asleep on Annalise. Air stewardess comes round, you need to put a belt on her. Annalise is like, well, I can't. She's just literally fell asleep now, like, can she not just remain on my lap? Whether the plane goes down or not, if she's on my lap or strapped into a seatbelt, it's going to be the same outcome. Just allow me to have her on my lap. Anyway, not too sure whether they did or they didn't, but there was a woman behind Annalise, had a few drinks, and I think she made a comment to Annalise. Annalise just
flipped.
Absolutely switched. Which I can imagine she would, because, I've been in a situation.
Can't see that with Annalise, by the way.
No, do you know what? And she's the most laid-back person. Kind, considerate, won't say boo to a goose, very softly spoken. But I think he just got to that kind of turning point where it was like, enough's enough. And this woman obviously said whatever she said, and Annalise kind of reared up on her. Same thing happened. I was on the flight this time. I think it was last summer. We were coming back, or one of the most recent flights we've had. And Lily, stupidly, we took her on the aeroplane first. When they kind of call you, like people in like kind of silver, or people with families, children can kind of come on. We went on there, and Lily's not got the understanding that, okay, we need to sit down, put your belt on, then once the seatbelt sign comes off, we can then jump and have a walk around the plane. So trying to put her down, she's kicking, she's screaming, again, being that kind of kid that you don't want on an aeroplane. A woman who's maybe, I don't know, in like her 60s or her 70s, kind of said something 2 or 3 rows above, or ahead of where we are. Annalise has again heard. I'm sat down and thinking, oh no, not again.
Go again.
Not again. And she said, excuse me, what did you say? This woman's kind of turned around, kind of like thrown back, as if Annalise has kind of called her out in front of the whole plane. This is, whole plane knows who Lily is by this point. It's like, you can't not. So Annalise said, go on, what did you say? And she made a comment, and Annalise, the woman had said, oh no, I didn't say anything. She said, you did, I heard you say something, just so you know. And again, we say she's autistic, and again, apologies for people that maybe are listening to this that have got a diagnosis, and we're saying that Lily's autistic, but she's not. But I truly believe that she is. So Annalise said, she's autistic. If you've got any problems, come and speak to me, or my husband sat over there. So I'm there like, all right. But it is what it is. And I think now, more so, since that happened, every time we've been on a flight, I've got on first. Annalise has held back with Lily to kind of be the last people on there so that she can kind of, not get bored on there. I've gone on and specifically said to people that have kind of been in close proximity, sorry to bother you, just to let you know, my wife, my daughter are, kind of getting on the flight shortly. My daughter, kind of is autistic. She does struggle with the language and the communication. It might be a little bit chaotic for maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe an hour, who knows. If there's anything that I can do to help manage the situation better, I will. Just let me know.
And people have been all okay with that?
Everyone's been absolutely golden. No one's ever turned around and been like, we were on a flight from Birmingham to Malaga in the summer. Everyone was like, so, I guess not welcoming, but they were just kind of understanding of the situation. But if we can do anything to help, let us know. And sod's law, as soon as we'd said that, she was sweet as a nut on the plane, not a peep out of her. Whereas when we didn't say that previously, so I think moving forward now, I'll always kind of give people a heads up out of courtesy.
Nathan, like I said before, again, I know everyone's got problems at home, and I know there's different issues that people have, but a proper person is someone that you will never ever know. And it's great that you've opened up on this, and I'm sure there's people watching who will reach out. But it does show me just what a special person you are by coming in, doing your job every single day, coming in before anyone, by the way, because I know you're always here at 7:30, 7:45, and not letting any outside noise and issues that you have come into work. So, mate, it's inspirational, 100% inspirational. You're a credit to work alongside me, I promise you that. And you were very, very lucky to have you on the team. You really, really are. Thanks for your time today, mate. I appreciate you opening up as well at the end.
Yeah, no, like I say, if this helps anyone, a family watching it, or, you know, kind of someone that's mate, we've even got people in the office. We've got people, obviously, I'm not going to name names, that have kind of, that I know well in the office, that have said to me, I think I've got ADHD, and you'll know from people who've worked with previously, they have got, you know, kind of thing. I think everyone to a degree in this office is like on the spectrum in some way, shape or form. So if it does help someone, then I'm made up with that. And obviously, you know, if people have got my number and they want to kind of reach out to me, or if they find a way of, you know, kind of contact me and they want to kind of speak about it, I'm an open book when it comes to it. I think, you know, the more people do speak about it, the better. I think it is a little bit of a, not necessarily a taboo topic with some kind of people, but, you know, people maybe don't want to accept realization that something is, you know, kind of holding their young boy back or their young girl back. And, you know, just by speaking to someone and maybe kind of taking the right steps forward to help that child develop and progress, you've got me all day. No problem.
Tom, man. Thanks very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Well done, mate.